All right, ladies, week 4, Monday the 25th. So this is our first EMOM. That stands for every minute on the minute, and we've got 20 minutes worth. So with this one, we're starting with our odd minute, and then you alternate between your odd and your even. So it doesn't technically matter if it's odd or even number, but the point is minute 1 is one thing, minute 2 is, the sumos. Minute 3 is swings, 4 sumo, 5 swings, 6 sumo. So that's how you go back and forth. If you've never done an every minute on the minute before, basically, so everyone's gonna try to aim for 20 minutes. If you can't make it 20 minutes, just try to lower it to an even number so you can still get an even number of those 2 different exercises in. So if you're gonna lower it, don't lower it to 19 because now you've done one more set of swings than you have sumo squats. So if you're gonna lower it to 16 or 14 or 18, you know what I'm saying? It has to be an even number. So we have overhead swings and weighted sumo squats. So overhead swing, and then weighted sumo. Okay, so if you have not done this before, I cannot remember honestly if I explain this in the timer's video. I know I explained how to set the timer. I don't believe, and there's a timer's page, but I don't believe if I talk about the actual workout of an EMOM. So I'm just gonna cover that really quick. So every minute on the minute means every minute on the minute, it's gonna beep. Every beep means that you start something, okay? So in this case, the first beep, you're gonna do your overhead swings. Whenever you finish, your rest is just until it beeps again, which it's gonna beep again, then you'd move on to your squats. Whatever you finish, you just wait for the beep, it's gonna beep again, you're gonna go back to your swings. And it's just gonna keep going like that every minute on the minute. So the reason why this is difficult is because if it takes you 30 seconds to do your swings, then you have a 30-second rest. If it takes you 40 seconds to do your swings, you get a 20-second rest. If it takes you 45 seconds to do your swings, you're only getting a 15-second rest. So you see what I'm saying? So you're working within that minute every single minute. So your rest depends on how fast you go, okay? So every time it beeps, you have to start the next thing, all right? So that's why you have a range of reps to pick from. So between 12 and 16 swings, 12 and 16 squats. So if you want to start with 16 and then you're like, okay, I'm barely getting any rest, I need to lower, that's fine. It doesn't have to be the same number for both. Like if you're faster at swings but slower at squats, you could do more than, in that one than you do in the other one. If you already know, like, you don't have good stamina, because this is one where, you want to work fast, like say you always, need to take a break with your hit styles or you're usually slower with those, you might just want to start with 12 and 12. But I suggest you never really want more than 30 seconds rest. If you're getting more than 30 seconds rest every single minute, then you need to do more. So ideally, you'd be anywhere between 15 and 30 seconds of rest. If you're only getting 10 seconds of rest every minute, you need to cut your reps, okay? So if that part confuses you at all, message me and I will explain it further to you. So our overhead swings and our sumo squats. So we talked about swings before, which look like this, right? So you're doing that hinging motion at the hip, your back goes down but is straight, and your butt goes to the wall, there's a slight bend in your knees, right? This is your swing. Now we're doing overhead swing, which means we bring the weight all the way overhead. Swing down, all the way overhead. Swing down, all the way overhead. So again, this is one where if you don't have a kettlebell and you're using a dumbbell, you can only go as heavy as your hand can hold onto the weight and it's not gonna fly out of your hand. So for me, like, probably my 15 is probably the highest I can go because I think the 20 might be too hard to hold on to do overhead. I do have a kettlebell though, so I would usually use my kettlebell. But again, you have to be able to hold on to it up and over your head. So I'm holding it like this. You can hold it like kind of almost like a stack, or however is comfortable for you. That gives you more control. But again, thinking that it has to go over your head and you're swinging it, you just want to make sure it's a weight that is not going to fly out of your hand. And then we have our weighted sumo. So turn your feet outward, open up your stance a little bit. I always hold it in between my legs and I just go down and up, down and up, down and up. You can hold it higher. I just find I like sink into my squat better if I'm holding the weight lower for some reason. I don't know, maybe that doesn't happen to you, but that's how I feel. So, and again, it's, that's all we're doing is the EMOM. So that's why I put 20 minutes. If you can make the 20 minutes, that's great. If you can't and you have to stop early, that's fine too. And again, you can always add on to these. Like if you do, you know, like say you do this and you're like, oh, you know, that fast pace was really a lot for me, but I still want to do something else. You can go ahead and add in your own, like finish your EMOM and then do some abs or do something else. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't have to, you know, only do my program and stick to it exactly. That's totally fine. Or you might finish this and be like, oh, I have extra time today, or I feel really good, I want to do extra. Like for me, if I ever feel like that, I always add in like jump rope and I always add in some more abs, because a lot of times when I'm testing these out for you guys, I'm more worried about the rounds section or like the EMOM or the main section. I'm never too worried about part 2. So a lot of times I end up skipping part 2 when I'm just trying to get this part done for you guys. So if ever I have the extra time, I always throw in abs just to do them. So you can always do that too. Like I said, if this is hard for you because of the pace, you can stop it early and then just throw something else in if you want. That's up to you.